All right. So I told you from the beginning that I'm going to go over this again. 4.1 and 4.2 is going to be 20% of your grade or unit test. And that's going to be the equation of a line, the slope of a line, R, and the scatter plot, and be able to tell if there is correlation or not. Negative correlation, positive correlation, no correlation, and that type of deal. 5.1, 5.2, 5.3, and 5.5. Now we're about right here. 5.1 is basic probability. Deck of cards, kids, coin flip, and die. And if you'll look at this little doojigger I sent y'all, and y'all can add to it, there is the thing I just sent y'all. I added some more to it. These are just some sample spaces that I just threw together. There's 2 die, and there's 2 coins. The one I fixed it. The one I had sent you was incorrect. There's 3 coins, and there's 4 coins. There's a deck of cards. You can make them big or small, depending on how big you want it, that kind of thing. You fix them however you want to for the test. And there's 3 kids. You can easily change this to 3 coins by going tails, 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 heads, tails, heads, tails. You can do that. That's the basic. That's the basic. Okay. 5.2 is the additive law. And that's the one that I showed you last with the blood types. I like to do the blood types because you can do that one chart and you can do like 18 problems just after that one chart. You can go A and O. You can go O and AB. You can go RH negative and B. You can do all kinds of different things with that blood type question. 5.3 is multiplicative law. We're going to go over that tonight. And factorials. And those are the things that we're going to go over tonight. So with that being, that's 80% of your test. This right here is 80% of your test. So make sure you make a note of that. 80% of your test is going to come from those 4 sections. Now, let's go ahead and make sure that ain't my son. No, I think it's a COVID. Last chance for COVID something, something, something. Some kind of survey. All right, so anyway, multiplicative law. Basically, the word that you're looking for is and. What's the word for the additive law? Or, exactly. And here are the rules for the multiplicative law. Here are the rules. The rules are, you have to determine whether it's with replacement. And did I show you all this last time?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Last class.
We did go, but we didn't do any problems, did we?
No.
Okay. Without replacement. With replacement is called independent. Meaning that the math does not change.
priority 1 message coming in on secured channel.
The math does not change. Dependent is without replacement. Now, the questions that I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a marble bag. And that's not Marlboros for some of y'all in the Marlboro Club. Marble bag. The test is going to ask you about a golf bag with different color golf balls. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you right now, because I remember the golf ball question. I'm going to show you today the marble bag. Now, there's one other thing I want to tell you, and this is red. After 300, it doesn't matter which method you use. Okay, and I should have wrote all that down for you last class. We just didn't go over any problems. Okay, so that's the multiplicative law. That's what I said it was, 5.3. Okay. All right. So here is the marble bag. Now again, this is not Marlboros, it's marbles. You know, the little round things that you play with. All right. So there's 4 red marbles. There's 6 green marbles. My favorite color, yellow. 5 yellow marbles. And 5 blue marbles. Mr. Mance, quit drinking that moonshine in class. 5 blue marbles. Now, what is the first thing that you should do with the multiplicative and the additive law? Find the what? Total. And I told you that Tuesday. Find the total. N is equal, and that's pretty simple, 20. And always, what is N? That's your denominator. The additive law and the multiplicative law is the same thing. N is always going to be your denominator. Now, on the test, this is marbles. On the test, it's going to be golf balls, because I can remember the question. You have a golf bag, and in that golf bag, you got 5 red golf balls, 6 green golf balls, and so on. So I'm telling you, here's the question right here. Now, the directions will say, what is the probability of picking 3 red marbles or golf balls in a row? Now, I want y'all to highlight in a row, because we're going to change that to another sentence. We're going to highlight it. I'm going to highlight it pink, because when you see that in a row, when you see in a row, that should be a red flag that goes up that says pick 1 and 2 and 3. And what word do we see when that red flag goes off? And. So when you see 3 in a row, that means you're going to pick 1, and you're going to pick 1, and you're going to pick 1. You see the word and. So that means multiplicative law. And that's what we're studying today. Multiplicative law. Now, how many read? Oh, yeah. And also, there'll be one more thing that the question gives you. And I'm going to write this in another color. I'm going to write it in orange. It's going to say with replacement. And remember me telling you to look for that. Now, I want somebody that, thinks you know what it means. What does with replacement mean? Anybody want to take a stab at it?
Independent.
Say it one more time. Slower.
Independent.
It means independent, but what does it mean? The reason I don't have my video on today is I'm eating ice cream.
I'm drinking beer.
Yeah, but I don't want people seeing me eating ice cream. All right. What does independent and what does with replacement mean in a layman's terms?
If you pick the marble and then without putting it back.
Okay, let's see who said that because I'm not used to but 2 or 3 people talking. Was that Mr. Spear?
Yeah.
Okay, you are correct. In other words, I reach into the marble bag and I pick a marble. I write down the color and I put the marble what? Back in the bag. Now, it's very important that you understand what with replacement means. I reach into the golf bag. I get a golf ball. I look at it. I write down what color it is. And then what do I do with the golf ball after I write down the color?
Put it back in the bag.
That is with replacement. Now, somebody tell me what that does as far as mathematics. It doesn't change the math because you still have 20 marbles in the bag. That's why it's called independent. So this line, when it says 3 red marbles in a row, I'm going to pick red and red and red. So what is, somebody tell me the probability of picking a red marble?
4 out of 20.
Good job. 4 out of 20 times 4 out of 20 times 4 out of 20. Now I'm going to get my highlighter out again. What does the word and stand for? Multiplication. Now, can we reduce 4 over 20? Yes, we can. And that's going to be
1/5.
1/5 times 1/5 times 1/5. Is there another way we can write this? Some of you people, can you remember how do we rewrite this? Or what is it when you multiply something by itself? That means I want y'all to interact.
You raise it to a power.
Yep. Now I want everybody to take your calculator and let's do this. I'm going to bring my calculator up. I'm waiting for my calculator. You go ahead and type yours in. There's a couple of ways that there's two ways that the test and the homework will want the answer. Sometimes the test and the homework wants the answer in the form of a fraction. Sometimes they want it in the form of a decimal. And if this calculator will ever come up, I will do it for you. Here we go. So, with that being said,
0.008.
quit. 1 raised to the third power is 1. Of course, y'all knew that. This is the fraction form. 5 raised to the third power is what?
125.
And that's one answer. So I'm going to color that one. I'm going to put or. And somebody give me 4 digits. Point what? That's all right. I'll do it.
0.008.
008.
008 even?
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is the two. Now let's talk about what this means so that you write it down. There is a less than 1% chance that if you pull 3 marbles out of this bag, that only 3 that you pull out are all going to be red. There's a 0.008 chance, not even a 1% chance. Okay? And that's how you do the multiplicative law with what?
With replacement.
Okay, now we're going to do one without replacement. So same, I want you to draw another marble bag on the next page. Same numbers. So we're going to draw the same Marlboro bag, not Marlboro, marble. And that'll be 4 reds. Some of y'all saying Marlboro Reds. Like, you know, I was at the store the other day, and if you look at the cigarette counter at the Marlboro section, there's like 5 or 10 different colors. I'm like, good golly molly.
Cigarette companies getting rich off of these folks paying $50.
Yeah, and you know why? The same reason people get rich off of drug addicts and alcoholics. What'd you say, Lauren? Oh, I'm sorry. Talking to my daughter. All right. 5 yellow. Well, 5 yellow. And 5 blue. And of course, we all said that the total is what? The first thing you got to do is add up, and n is equal to 20. That's the first thing you do. And now we're going to do the same problem. What is the probability of 3 reds in a row, dot, 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 and take my orange marker, without replacement? Okay, so let's talk. We're still going to pick 3 in a row, so I'm going to put 3 sets of parentheses. Just like before. And what is the probability of picking a red marble?
Well, if you don't replace them, and the first one was 4/20, but if
Okay,
you don't,
4, that's right, 4/20. Therefore, what would the next, let me ask you something, without replacement, What does that mean? With replacement, I wrote down the color.
3 out of 20.
Not 3 out of 20, but 3 out of what?
19.
3 out of 19. How'd you know that? You've been cheating. What have you been doing?
Watching videos.
That's amazing. You know what? I'm gonna go to my department head and I'm gonna go to her and I'm gonna say, you know what? This student has this brilliant idea of watching videos before class starts. You know what that's called in education?
Pre-planning.
It's actually called flipping the classroom. Flipping the classroom is where you tell students to study the material you're fixing to go over before you go over it in the classroom. So, Miss Kidd, you are a pioneer. All right. What would the next one be? You put
2
that
over
one in your
18.
pocket. Be 2 over what?
18.
Okay, now I want somebody. I'm going to do the top one for you. 4 times 3 times 2 is going to be 24. And I'm not going to do the bottom. So somebody multiply 20 times 19 times 18 for me.
285.
6.
What?
20
285?
times 19
6,840.
18 is, yeah.
Okay, hold on. Just stop.
6,800.
I said it simplified. My bad.
That's all right. I appreciate it, but I want to y'all just trying to mess me up is what y'all trying to do. That's all right.
Yeah, that's exactly
20.
what I'm trying to do.
That's your goal. That's your goal in life to
Yep.
mess me up. 19 times 18. And I'm writing it in both forms because sometimes they want 6840. Now, somebody give me four digits. 4 decimal places. 24 divided by
0.0035.
50.
0.00. I'm gonna say 4.
Oh, 4. Okay, that's fine.
You
Okay.
said 5 decimal places. We counting to 5.
Well, the reason I did that is because the first one we did 3. I'm gonna show y'all something. Look here. Is there a difference? Yes or no?
Yes, it's
There is a
4
difference.
less.
So we're gonna write this down, and that's where this is. So I'm gonna pull this back up right quick. This is what we started class with. So I'm gonna leave it right there for a second. And down here, I said after 300, it doesn't matter which method you use. So what I'm going to do under that, I'm going to do small numbers under 300 matter. And we're going to do something here in a minute that will show you what I'm talking about. So all this you had wrote down from Tuesday, but anyway, with replacement, that's the method. That's one method. Without replacement is the other method. And the 2 type questions you're going to see the most of in my class is the marble bag and the golf bag. After 300, when the numbers are above 300, it doesn't matter which method you use. So if you have small numbers like the one we're doing right now, you're going to see a difference in your what? In your answers. So small numbers, you need to pay attention to the directions. Now, watch this. Draw one more marble bag. Same, different numbers this time. And is it okay if I don't write the word? Can y'all associate the color with the color of marbles? I hope y'all can, because I don't want to write the word. So 400, 600, 500, and 500. So we all know that that's going to be 2,000. So now we've got n is equal to 2,000. So what I want you to do, we want to divide it into 2. I want you to tell me the probability of a red, and a red with replacement. And then I want you to tell me the probability of red, red, red without replacement. And I want you to carry it to 4 or 5 digits without replacement. So this will be parenthesis, 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 since it's 3. This will be parenthesis, 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 since it's 3.
All right, if you're gonna be sucking snot, put your microphone on mute.
I didn't do that.
Not you, somebody else.
Okay. Okay, that's anonymous, so we don't know who did it. So, all right. Here we go. This up here, we can take those 3 since it's with replacement. Since the math does not change, math does not change. Since the math does not change, since we put that marble back in the bag, we can say parenthesis to the 3rd power instead of doing this, but we're going to fill it out in other words. So 400 over 2,000, 400 over 2,000, and 400 over 2,000. And yes, you can simplify as much as you want to. It's going to be the same thing. Okay? So somebody take 400 and divide by 2,000 and raise it to the 3rd power.
0.2.
I want to keep it simple because I'm not simplifying because I'm trying to keep it simple as far as showing you how to do these. So I'm not simplifying. I'm just 400 divided by 2,000, raise it to the 3rd power and give me 5 decimal points. It's going to be 008, right? Okay, what is it?
64,640,000.
Okay, scientific notation, so that's going to blow some fuses. So let me go ahead and
08.
let me just do it. I'll write it down. Just hold on.
You said
Please.
400 to
Please
the
don't
3rd
blow
power.
any fuses right now, please. 400 divided by, I'm used to the scientific notation blowing fuses. It did it today in the 8 o'clock class. Equals, and raise that to the 3rd power. Okay, it should be the same answer. I thought it was the same answer.
Yeah, 0.008. Okay.
0.08.
I was all screwed up.
That's all right. Okay,
What I thought you were doing, because on the other one you had carried that top number to the 3rd power first, and then the second one you
up
took
here
to the
when I
3rd
did,
power.
yeah, you can do that too,
That's
but I
what
wasn't
screwed
doing
me
that
up.
because 2,000 to the 3rd power is a huge number, and I'm not doing that. That's just ridiculous. All right, so 400 over 2,000. What's the next one going to be?
600 over 2,000.
No, the red. Remember red.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We pick one out, put it in our pocket. How many's left red?
1,099.
Not 1,099. That would go on the bottom. That'd be 1,999 on the bottom.
500.
399.
What's one less? 400.
399.
There you go.
I'm
And what would the next one be? 398 over 1990 what?
8.
Now I want somebody to crank that out and give me 3 digits. Now, the best way to do this, I'm going to show you the best way to do this. Best way to do it is just use your parentheses with your calculator. Watch this. This is a trick I learned in the war. You take you take parentheses and you do 400 divided by 2,000. 400 divided by 2,000. Close parentheses times, open parentheses, 399 divided by 1999. Close parentheses times open parentheses, 398 divided by 1998.
So it ends
And I
up
get
equaling
0.00 what?
31,808.
Look at what I got.
What the fuck?
0.00 what?
Now, I did this exactly how you did it on here, and it still ain't right.
Well, you must have done something different. Just check it. There it is right there. Check it. And for those of y'all that somebody tell me what's the difference in the two methods?
There's not.
There's not a difference. So let me ask you a question. If you're working on the test and you're running out of time and you come up with one of these golf ball questions or marble questions and it's got 400, 600, 500, 500, are you going to worry about the mathematical method that you're going to use? No, you're going to do the first one. Why are you going to do the first one?
Because it's the easiest.
Because it's the easiest and the quickest. Now, they may ask you, is this independent or dependent? Well, you can ask that, you know, with they give you with replacement or without replacement. That is just definition stuff. But if it's 400, 600, 500, 500, anything above 300, okay, what if this was 400 and this was 6 and this was 3 and this was 200? Well, you're going to have to do it. They're not all over 300. And all the numbers need to be over a 3-digit number, and 300 is a good safe number. So if you have 400 and then 2 green ones and 5 yellow ones and 500 blue ones, then you're going to have to do it this way if it says without replacement. Okay? So when you have numbers that are above 300, it doesn't matter which method you use of the multiplicative. Okay? Now, and this is the last section. This is called 5.5. And this is not very difficult because 5.5 is what we call counting. Now, it's not counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but it is counting as far as multiplying numbers, using exponents, and using factorial. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, because y'all know what numbers are, here's a number, 4 times 2 times 3. Y'all know how to do that. Y'all know what an exponent is. 10 to the 3rd power is equal to 1,000. Y'all know what an exponent is. But factorial, you might not know. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the definition for factorial. Actually, some of you might know from Math 120 in high school if you had it. Okay? Factorial is multiplying numbers in their natural sequence down to 1. So, Miss, I don't know where Miss Honey is. I can't tell. She's done darkened her room. It looks like she's in her Cracker Barrel part of her house. All right. So she don't have the lights on behind her. All right, Miss Honey, pick a number between 1 and 9.
5.
5 factorial equals 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 times 3 is 60. 60 times 2 is 120. 120 times 1 is 120. Mr. Mance, pick a number between 1 and 9.
See,
I knew you were going to pick a high number, so we're going to use calculator. Here we go. Everybody write it down. I'm going to do this for you. Wait a minute. Clear. Clear. There we go. All right, write this down. 8. Math. Third button down. Math. Roll over to probability. And number 4. And enter. 8 times 7 times 6 times 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 is equal to 40,320. Now, I'm going to show you why we use factorial here in just a minute. So here's your buttons. 8, math. Move over till you get to probability. Move down until you get to, I wonder if they'll show, they don't show it. Okay, move down until you get to factorial and hit enter. And you should get 40,320. So make sure everybody can do, type in 8, math, move 3 places to the right, 3 places down to factorial, and hit enter.
Oh, that was easy.
Okay. Now, Miss Kidd, pick a number between 1 and 9.
3.
Good job. I knew Miss Kidd would pick an easy one. All right. 3 times 2 times 1.
Oh, I gotta write all this
6.
down.
All right. This is how you do 5.5.
Don't take it off. I'm writing down, okay?
I'm not. I'm waiting. Now I'm going to show you the kind of problems you're going to see. You're going to see a couple of problems with multiplying numbers like 4 times 2 times 3. You're going to see some with exponents like license plates or codes on an alarm code or your PIN number on your debit card. And then we're going to do the lottery questions and the combination questions with factorials. Okay, everybody got that written down?
Uh-huh.
All right. So I'm going to go to the handy dandy. I'm going to go to the handy dandy slides, and I'm going to pull up the slides. Labs, because that's the best way for y'all to write down the that's the best way for y'all to write down the questions. I'm going to show you 1, 2 of each. As soon as it lets me in. They finally fixed my room. AC 137. And you know what it was? Resolution. I told them that. But they don't listen to me because I'm just the teacher.
Does that mean we're having class on Tuesday in the classroom?
No. Unless y'all want to, I'm going to teach from home. Let's see. I gotta do it for the morning class though. If y'all want to, we'll meet. But we'll be democratic and take a vote if y'all want to. I don't think too many people are going to vote for it though.
Yeah, me. I'd be the only one.
I think you're the only one that showed up the 1 or 2 times we actually did have
I know.
it. All right, here's the question. Let me go down to 5.5. There we go. All right, write down this question because this is a question and you're going to put meals or combination of meals. This is a SAT question, a TEAS question, a standardized test question, and it's also a Hubert's test question. Fixed price dinner at a restaurant provides the following choices. You can have a soup or a salad. You can have a meat, and I assume they're going to put some vegetables with it, but I guess that's, you know, standard. And then an ice cream dessert or a cheesecake dessert. And the question asks, how many different meals can be ordered? Now I want you to put on this one basic multiplying. So you've got soup or salad. Every time I see those two words together, I think of when I was on the football team at Westside. We had a restaurant across from Westside called Soup and Salad. And we would go over there and buy one bowl and one plate. And about 20 of us would eat off of that one bowl and one plate because it was a snack, it was a soup bar and a salad bar. All you could eat. Well, weren't we awful?
Nah.
Soup or salad, chicken, beef, liver, or roast beef. You know, there's 3 or 4 things in the world that I never have developed a taste for. And I've tried the liver thing. I've tried, and it just, yeah, I just can't eat it.
Me neither.
Meatloaf, same way.
Mm.
I can't eat meatloaf either. I can eat hamburger steak, and I can eat Salisbury steak, and I can eat cube steak, but I can't eat meatloaf.
It's mushy.
I've never been able to do the smoking thing either, even the cigars. Marine Corps ball, they'd give us a cigar, and I'd take one puff and throw mine in the trash can. And coffee. I don't have a taste for it. Anyway, beef liver, no. Okay, so, and the last thing is ice cream or cheesecake. All right, now here is my handy dandy thing that I'm writing on, the whiteboard. There it is. Here we got 2 plates. Here we got 4 plates. And here we got 2 plates. And what's 4 times 4?
16.
And that's how many combinations you got. So please make a note of this because I will ask this type of question on the test. And you will see this type of question on a standardized test. There's only like 4 or 5 type questions you're going to see in 5.5. The second type question is a question having to do with a license plate, a 5-code alarm system, or a 4-number pin. So this is your license plate, and I always forget how to spell license.
L-I-S-C-E-N-S-E.
I always get the C and the S mixed up. Plate, alarm code, and pin number. Now, what's the only 2 things that we use for license plates and pin codes and alarm codes? Numbers and what?
Letters.
Letters.
Letters. So write that down. The only thing we use is numbers and letters. How many numbers are there? Now be careful because you're not thinking of 2-digit numbers. A while ago, I was asking you between 0 and 9.
There's 10.
There's 10. 0 to 9 is equal to 10 numbers. Count them on your fingers if you have to. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You can't punch 10 on 1-digit code. Now you can punch a 1 and a 0, but you can't punch 2 digits on one code. And how many letters are there?
26.
26.
Oh, how'd you get 26?
Come on
Because
now.
I
A
know
to
my
Z.
alphabet.
Oh, okay. My brain ain't working. Sorry.
That's all right.
I was-
all right.
I can't- I was-
That's fine. All right, now here we go. These are the only two. You know what these are called? These are called your bases. And you'll see what I'm talking about in just a minute. You're either going to have a base of 10 or you're going to have a base of 26. Because can we use anything else? Now, we could use those funky symbols. You could put those in there, but you got to know how many there are. So in most of these questions, everything is going to be based on numbers or letters. Now, what are these things? These these are called spaces. I call them spaces. So each one of these lines right here are called spaces. Spaces are going to be your exponent. So if I'm doing a license plate and I'm only putting numbers on this license plate, just numbers, then what would my equation be? Well, there's only 10 numbers, that's my base, and I'm going to raise it to the what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to raise it to the 6th power. Now I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter out, and I'm going to highlight that 6. And that 6 represents how many spaces you have. And the pink highlighter, hold on just a second. Okay, and the 10 is what we call your base. All right, now somebody tell me my PIN number. Somebody tell me, what do you use for your PIN number?
Use 4.
Do you use letters or do you use numbers?
Numbers.
Numbers.
So it's going to be 10
4/10.
to the 4th.
Oh.
And I'm going to highlight those. Thank you, sir. So my 10 is my base, or my 4 is my spaces, and my 10 is my base. My alarm code is going to be 10 to the what?
5th.
5th power.
To the 5th power. Now I'm showing you 3. Now I'm going to show you a license plate here in just a second, and you're going to have to think.
What down?
Because I'm not going to let y'all get off on just regurgitation. Y'all going to have to think. All right.
Well, it would be 2 separate sets, wouldn't it? If it's a license plate, it'd be
sorry, what?
numbers and letters. I said it would be 2 separate
Well, I'm
sets.
fixing to show you that. You're taking my thunder away from me. Please don't do that. You're taking my thunder away from me. Now I'm going to feel all sad. Okay, the license plate I'm fixing to show you that Miss Kidd has taken my thunder away from me are going to have 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The first three, you're going to have to do letters. And the last three, you're going to do numbers. So you know the first one's going to be raised to the third power, and the second one's going to be raised to the third power. But how many letters are there?
6.
26.
Crap.
And how many numbers are there?
10.
So that would be, and I'm going to take my handy dandy highlighter again. My base is based on what the directions say. If the directions say letters, you're going to deal with 26. If the directions say numbers, you're going to deal with 10. And the three spaces right here are dealing with that exponent. And these three spaces are dealing with that exponent. Now, I just showed you 4 test questions. A license plate with nothing but numbers, an alarm code with nothing but numbers, and a PIN code with nothing but numbers, and 3 letters and 3 numbers. Now, of course, you do it on your calculator. Now, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by doing all these on your calculator. I'm just going to do this one. 26, X to the Y, or caret symbol, 3, move to the right, times 10, caret symbol, 3. So how many license plates can we make? 17,576,000. That's a bunch of license plates. Okay, that is the second type question you would have. Let me go over it. The first type is what you gonna eat. What you gonna eat? Hold on a minute. I can't even fix my dadgum. I'm about ready to quit. By the time I get to y'all at night, my brain is mush. Okay, what to eat? That's the first type question. The second type question is license plates and alarm codes. License plates and alarm codes. What's the third type question? Well, I'm not a big fan of the third type question. So I'm going to show you the formula, and I'm going to show you the example. If I'm not a big fan, do you think it's going to be on the test?
Nope.
That's the right. Yes, no. And let me find it. Get it out of the way. Here it is. So go ahead and write this one down. There's only one problem. Since I am a veteran and a terrorist, an NRA member, I'm going to say red, white, and blue. I don't live in France. It says white, blue, and red. I live in America, and 2 are red, 5 are white, and 3 are blue.
Did you want me to change that or just write it the way it was?
You can write it the way I'm just being funny, okay? Hold on just a second, y'all. Hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. My daughter's leaving and I had to say bye. All right. Here we go. And that's the formula. Okay. How many total flags are there? There's 10 flags. So 10 goes on top. 10 factorial. And then you multiply by 5 factorial, 3 factorial, and 2 factorial. And I'm going to show you how to do it on the calculator. I'm going to minimize it right quick for you. Where'd it go? There it is. No, that's not it. Where'd it go? Oh, I hate this question. There it is. All right, so here's how you do it on the calculator. The best way to do it on the calculator is to use your stove button. Where do you get bread? That's stove. All right. So where is the stove button? The stove button is right here. So I'm going to clear this. Okay, and clear the screen. All right, so 10 factorial goes on top, right? Now you don't have to do this. You can write it down on a piece of paper and do it the old-fashioned way. That's fine. I don't care. I'm just showing you how I would do it. Math and factorial and enter. Now that's a BA number. So I'm going to stow it. Stow means store. And I'm going to store it. It's a numerator, so I'm going to call it alpha. And alpha is like caps lock on the computer, N, which is log. Now there's your keystrokes right there. Now you don't have to do that. You can just write it down on your piece of paper, then do your numerator, and then do it by hand. Okay, I'm just showing for some of you that are, you know, pretty good with the calculator and you know what I'm doing here, and I'm brushing off some cobwebs of high school, that's fine. Now I'm going to do the bottom. 5 factorial times 3 factorial times 2 factorial. Now this is the easiest way to do it. Parentheses, 5 math, probability, factorial, close parentheses, times, open parentheses. I'm sorry, that's supposed to be, okay, that's a multiplication. 4 math, probability, factorial, close parentheses, times, parentheses, 3 math, factorial, and I'm about to reach my limit, y'all. And that is, I'm going to stow that. That's my denominator. So I'm going to call it alpha D. And now you just take the numerator. I'm going to clear it. I'm going to leave that up for a few seconds so you can see the keys that I punched. Now, take alpha N and divide by what? Alpha D. My numerator divided by my denominator. And what's my answer? 210. Now, like I said, that's for people that know how to use their calculator in high school, and I'm just brushing off the cobwebs. If you want to do it by writing it on the paper, that's fine. Okay? All right. So let's move back to, now, is that a test question? No. All right. Now I'm going to get to the bread and butter of chapter 5. Here's the bread and butter. Combinations of 5.5. This is the bread and butter. Combinations and permutations. There's only one word that goes under these two words. Order and order. Does anybody remember from your high school days which one is order and which one is not order?
I didn't take college
I know.
this in high school.
All right, put an X through this one. Combination, no order. Permutation, order. Permutation, you may be asked about a race. What cars or what horses come in first, second, and third? And those are 2 test questions that I'm going to ask. You may be asked about officers on a board. Officers on a board: president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. N or R is equal to 4 because how many officers is that? And with the race, it's called a trifecta. Can anybody tell me what a trifecta is? First, second, and third. First, second, and third. So R would be equal to 3 on those 2, on that one. All right. Now, sometimes you may get a lottery question, but not many times. Sometimes. There are some lottery questions that do want you to put it in order, but most of your lottery questions are going to be over here. Most of your lottery questions are going to be on this side. Committee questions. Why committee versus board? Because committee has no officers, unless you're in a Southern Baptist church. Because if you're in a Southern Baptist church, you have a committee for the bathroom, okay? And you have to have a chairman and a vice chairman and all that stuff. Okay, I grew up in a Southern Baptist church. I know how it is in a Southern Baptist church. You have to have a committee for doorknobs in a Southern Baptist church. All right, but a committee does not have officers unless you make them have officers. A board has officers. I'm on the land use board of Anderson County, and we have officers. We don't have a secretary or treasurer, but we do have a chairman and a vice chairman. So R would equal 2 for a chairman and a vice chairman because there's 2 offices. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you the formulas, and I want you to write down the formulas, but I'm not going to hold you to the math. I want you to write down the formulas for your information in case you are asked on a standardized test. This is permutation. Write that down. I'll blow it up here in a second. There you go. So N, P, R, and you're going to see that on your calculator. That little N and that big P and that little R, you're going to see that on your calculator. Is equal to N factorial over N minus R factorial. Now, I want you to highlight that formula because you need to know what the formula for permutation looks like on a standardized test. Somebody tell me what N is. N is always your what? Biggest number.
The total?
Yes, N is always your biggest number. So that means R is always going to be smaller than N. And here is your combination. N, C, R. And that's N factorial over r factorial times n minus r factorial. Now go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and tell you to get the anxiety out because you don't have to worry about plugging and chugging. This is all on the calculator, and it won't take you 5 seconds to do it on the calculator. So don't
I was gonna
spaz
say,
on it.
how many? Who's it gonna take 5 seconds?
Okay. So here's your calculator. And where is it? Well, let me clear it. Clear. It's under math. There they are under probability. Number 2 and number 3. There they are. See them?
Hmm.
And I'm going to show you how to type them in. So let's go to our handy dandy slide. And let's find, here's one right here. Okay. This is a combination. How many different simple random samples of 4 can be obtained from a population whose size is 20? Somebody tell me what the biggest number is.
24.
There's 2 numbers there. What's the biggest number?
20.
20. I'm going to take my handy dandy whiteboard. Oh, come on. Did I lose it? There it is. So 20. N is equal to 20. And R is equal to 4. Now, what tells me to use a combination? Well, there's no order. There's nothing in the question right here that says it has to be in order. If there's nothing there, it's a combination. If there's no word order in the question, then it's a combination. So this is going to be 20 combination 4. So if I have 20 people in a classroom and I want to make 4 committees, 4-member committees, how many committees can I make out of those 20 people? 4-member committees, how many committees can I make from having 20 students? So take your calculator.
It wouldn't be 5?
Hold on. You got to punch it in. So clear. Here we go. 20. Math. Probability. Write down these keystrokes if you need them. And NCR 4.
4,845.
Bingo. So 4,845 different. So I'm going to write this down for y'all. If I have 20 people and want 4-member teams, how many different teams can I have? And the answer is 4,845 different 4-member teams. That's what you're finding out. Now, how many people we got in the class right now? We got 8 people in the class. How many 4-member teams can we do out of this 8 right here? Well, 8. Watch this. It's a trick of learning in the war. Second, enter. And you can just go and change this to a 12 and hit enter. So out of this class with 8 people in it, we could have 494 different teams. Think about it. You could have one with Kid, Hunia, Mance, and Miss Gill. and then you change the order, that's 4 different teams if you just change the order. You see what I'm saying? I mean, not the order, but the people and how they're picked. So you could have Mr. Mance pick first, and then Hunia, then Kidd, then Gill. Then you could have Hunia, Kidd, Gill, and Mance. Then you could have Kidd, Gill, Mance, and Hunia. And then you could have Gill, Mance, Hunia, and Kidd. That's 4 different teams. Now, you just take one person out of that team, Mr. Mance, throw him out, and put in Miss Ritchie. You got 4 more different teams. Everybody see what I'm saying? You got to think about it. You got to open up your mind a little bit. It's not, it's not at the bowling alley in Homeland Park, okay? You got to think outside the box, all right? So let's do a permutation. What does a permutation look like? Permutation would be, I'm going to give you one that's on the test and standardized test. There are 20 horses, and I want you to put cars under it because sometimes they use horses, sometimes they use cars. There's 20 horses in a race. How many trifectas are possible? Trifectas, first, second, third. How many trifectas are possible? Now this one is asking for order. I'm going to put order right here in red because this right here means order. $20 permutation 3. Now somebody tell me where I got 3 from.
3, there's first, second, and third places.
When you see the word trifecta, R will always be 3. When you do the board members, and there's always president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, R will always be 4 with a board, unless otherwise specified. So take it in your calculator. Take your calculator and do 20 math, probability, permutation.
6,840.
3. Now, what is this? What does this mean? 6,840. If I place, well, I want somebody to think here. If I place 6,840 $5 bets, what does that mean?
Means you have a chance of winning $34,200.
Well, I don't know about 34,000. I don't know about what I'd win. But if I bet on every trifecta, that means 5 times 6,840 times $5. That's a chunk of money. That I'm going to win at least one time.
Yep.
Now, how those horses are measured depends on how much money I win. If they're all 3 long shots, then I'm going to clean up. If one of them is Secretariat, and one of them is Seabiscuit, and one of them is, I don't know what the last one won, if all 3 of them win all the time, I'm not going to win much money. And that is a permutation. Okay, now, this is what I want everybody to do over the weekend. I want everybody to work on Chapter 5. Notice I didn't say Chapter 4. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all Miss This is what I wrote down last time in class, and I wrote this at the beginning of class today. Okay? Where is 80% of your test coming from?
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5. So what should y'all be concerned with?
Chapter 5.
Chapter 5. So what I want everybody working on this weekend is I want everybody working on Chapter 5. I don't care if you work on 2 sections. I don't care if you finish all of them. I want you to send me questions on Chapter 5. I'll show you something. Show you something right here. And I know you got to leave, and I know it's, but I don't think you're going to class, so you'll be all right. I'm going to show you something. Tomorrow morning, I've got to go over at least 15 questions in 120-23. Okay? Why? Because people are doing their homework in Chapter 5. Look at here. Well, I don't know where they went, but no, that's the wrong class. That's 130. Where's 120? Look at there. I've got 5.3. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then these are y'all's. I've got 6 to go over first thing in the morning. So that's what I want Tuesday from y'all. I want to see homework questions from Chapter 5 in this email. All right? All right. Let me look at right quick. I want to see who's here before we talk. Hold on. I want to make sure I got everybody that wasn't here Tuesday. Let me check that first, and then I'll answer y'all's questions if I can find ETC. And where is, hold on, faculty. Let me shut off the recorder and the presentation.